up, fellas? On screen right now is my main, so everything I say take with a pinch of salt. It's, well, salt is maybe not the best word to use. You know what I mean. Just understand that things that I may be saying in this video are going to be a little bit biased, but I have been playing this character quite a lot recently, and obviously he is my main character now. He's my highest rep, and yeah, so as the title suggests, I'm going to be explaining why I believe Tiandi to be, one, difficult, and two, very weak. Though, don't take this the wrong way, this isn't me crying for buffs. I would rather see the world burn than to see this character get unblockable. This character does genuinely require quite a lot of input, not the most input in the game. I'd still say Nobushi is probably the king of that, or the queen of that. And, you know, you get such little reward for it, similar to Nobushi, where both characters have to work so hard just for what other characters just take for granted. But at the same time, both Nobushi and Tiandi do have some unique tools that other characters would seriously greatly benefit from. So today I'm going to be giving you the pros and the cons of my main man, Tiandi. So I'm going to start off with punishment, as I always do. His heavy parry punish is light for 12 damage, or a zone for 15 damage, depends on your stamina situation, but light leads to a small 50-50. There's the undodgeable option, and here's the bash option. So this is a very low reward and fairly high risk 50-50. Tiandi's bash isn't like insanely punishable or anything, but I'll get to that when I get to the bash, because this bash is atrocious. But on a light parry, he gets a top heavy, which also leads to a 50-50, does 27 damage. Nice. And on a GB, he gets a side heavy. Should be noted as well, he can also wall splat for a top heavy. So overall, the damage on his punishes are relatively average, slightly lower, around the same as Pirates. But he does get more off of a light parry, but 1 damage less on a GB. So whatever, you know, here or there. Pretty much Pirates damage. So now we're going to get into what I think is actually good about the character, because I don't think this is the weakest character of all time. I don't think he's, you know, useless. He does have some genuinely really nice stuff. It's just, it's surrounded by a kit that doesn't work. So first off, I think the best tool, and even this comes with like a catch, is this dodge light right here is super fucking good. So this dodge light is undodgeable, and it's the fastest dodge attack in the game. It's one of the only moves in the entire fucking game that Pirate has to not, you know, that Pirate has to care about, because this can dodge the bash, and because it's undodgeable, she can hardly do any moves, you know, that keep her safe to this. Delaying this dodge attack gives you a few iframes at the beginning, and this move comes out at light speed. And I actually mean light speed, like in a vacuum, I don't fucking know, quadrillion miles per hour, I don't know the actual speed of light. But this is a really fast dodge attack. Back in the days when Lawbringer was top 1 in the game for his unpunishability, I actually said Tiandi was a much better character back then, because if he threw out the bash, Tiandi was one of the only characters in the entire game that could punish it. This undodgeable light is super fucking good. I cannot state enough for punishment how good this is, and again, this comes with a catch. Look at the damage, right? But any bash that requires a dodge attack, say BP's bash, right? That's unpunishable via a GB, Shigoki's bash, anything like that. You're only getting 10 damage. So it's not good for every other bash in the game, but any bash or anything that's barely punishable, like it's basically safe on whiff. Tiandi's fucking got that. He's on that juju. He's gonna fuck you up. There is the other dodge attack as well, this dodge heavy. This is a dodge soft feintable heavy, which is interesting. Because it's dodge soft feintable, you can chain this into itself forever, and you can go into the dodge light as well. I can also do this any direction you damn well fancy. So really good dodge attack, as you can tell. It covers a lot of distance. It's active for a very long time. Does have a striking zone, goes into mix options, all of that. So what this is primarily used for is for charge bashes, option selecting mix-ups that have various bashes in them, such as, say, Highlander's offensive stance. Just do this like 4 times and he can't do anything. There's no undodgeable in his entire kit, so good luck. He basically has to feint it and read when you'll shut up, essentially. So yeah, this is predominantly for charge bash mixes. You basically just option select them. Level 1 and level 3, doesn't matter. I don't care. Feint to GB, level 1 feint to GB will catch you if you just see the orange and just, then yeah, no. And there is another thing. If you read level 3, like you have a hard read on level 3, wait for it, dodge it, and GB punish it. Right? If you do this, it's not a punish. And if they do level 1, this isn't a punish. It's too slow to punish, it's just slow enough to option select things. So you don't take damage, but you don't really necessarily do damage to the opponent either. If they commit to a level 3, then 1, they're stupid, and 2, you may actually punish them for doing it. And it's not bad damage either, it's 25, it's higher than its GB punish, so it's some good damage. And this is only a heavy parry as well, so it's an okay move, absolutely. It's absolutely outstanding, very frustrating for any charge bash character to fight Tiandi sometimes, because they have to change their game plan, and they don't like doing that very much. So another thing is he has some DRCs, not on every move, but he does have some DRCs. His light is a good one. Back light, back dodge. Forward light, back dodge. His heavies, neutral heavies, I don't know why it work there, but he has some DRC safety, and because of this, he does have some stuff. I do believe that's it though. There's no other DRCs other than his main tools. Also, at the wall, he does actually get a pretty big reward. So, I've already said, this is 27 damage. That's nothing to scoff at, that's pretty good. 27 damage is actually alright. But where the big reward comes in is with his main 50-50 I talked about. From his light he gets a 50-50, and from his heavy he gets a different 50-50. Well, his other 50-50 is this kick mix, which is accessible from any heavy move, including the zone. So you basically just input Garbreak, and at the wall you get a free top heavy, but you lose too much frame advantage for you to continue offense, so mainly you want to go for a side heavy because it's a lot safer. It also, depending on character, depending on the angle and things like that, it's very contextual. The opponent doesn't hit the wall at all, so they slide off quite often. If I get a really like an okay angle, but it's not actually that good. Like say I'm like at this angle, he'll just slide off and he'll fly over there, and I have to do it on full heavy. That was guaranteed, but it's 2 less damage. So this big reward is 24 damage on a bash, which is really strong. Do not get me wrong. And it could be 27 damage on a bash if you go for the top heavy. But again, continuing offense is a little bit awkward. You have to basically DLC into that, and that can get predictable and stuff like that. If the opponent does know the matchup, they're not going to eat any of that. They're just going to light you out of it. There's no armor, very little safety, and because you're at the wall as well, this game can act weird, and this can sometimes get caught on the wall and you don't dodge things anymore. which is frustrating and stuff like that. Honestly, just forgo the 3 extra damage and just go for a side heavy. At least. That's what I say anyway. Sorry, hang on. He also has a very tricky moveset. Things like that are like super hard. If an opponent is a turtle, he has the ability to, more than some characters, to get really creative on how he approaches the opponent, how he doesn't approach the opponent. You know, a strong offense can be a strong defense. He does have some really strong defensive tools, so he can chip away at the opponent, and he can sort of whiff tech his way around, and that's another thing. This character has exceptional whiff tech. It's very fake and it's very dumb, but things like this confuse the opponent in neutral. And, you know, when they try and approach, when they go for their roll catch, like their dodge forward heavy, their Nature's Wrath, stuff like that, you can just go into that, and that's a crushing counter slash superior dodge slash weird thing. The only undodgeable, unblockable move in the game. So that's the pros of Tiandi. You know, he has some really cool tools. Again, the whiff tech. He has okay damage sometimes. You know, good dodge attacks, I think I've already said, and some big reward at the wall as well. You know, that's 12, but when you hit them with the bash, it's 24. That's pretty good. That's like Griffin damage. So you basically, it's a Griffin 50-50 at the wall, which is okay. I'll take it. But the thing is, Tiandi's leads to more mixes. Griffin's doesn't. So yeah. So now onto the things I think are bad, and there are a lot of them. So I've already mentioned that this is 10 damage, yet so his damage overall, except for some circumstances, is really piss poor. This is 24 damage. Again, for comparison, Pirates is 25. All of her heavies are 25. It doesn't matter that this is 27 and it's 3 more. His guard break punish is 24. Yeah, it's not good. To say that Pirate was meant to have low damage, quote-unquote, because she's an offensive character, Tiandi has very few offensive tools, and he still has low damage, like lower damage in some cases than Pirate. His punishment is pretty lackluster, 15 on his own, and this costs quite a lot of stamina, by the way. But it does lead to his main mix-up, but really, no. Another really awful thing is he completely lacks an unblockable. You know, think of good characters right now. Raider, Kyoshin, Pirate, a few others. Like Gladiator's pretty good in duels. Oh, why I mentioned Gladiator? It's not like top tier, but you know what I mean. You know, think of all these characters. Literally all of them have unblockables. There's no top tier that doesn't, because unblockables are a key part of the game right now. It's a hard 50-50. You have to make a read. You can't just sit there and block. You can't just rely on your genetic reaction speed. There's nothing that you can do. You have to read. It's an actual 50-50. It's a mix. But Tiandi completely lacks this. It's something he's just sorely lacking. There's nothing there. In general, this character just can't force a reaction out of the opponent. They can't force a read. The opponent, if they want to, can just sit there and react to basically everything. It's just a massive issue. But again, what I said with the tricky moveset, he can do some sort of wacky stuff that the opponent is not expecting. He has to throw them off guard, he has to get creative. So the lack of unblockable, maybe not quite as bad. It's crippling in some matchups. Kyoshin is a 9-1 for Kyoshin. It's super hard to fight Kyoshin, especially as Tiandi, and you see Kyoshin a lot. So yeah, no, versus some top tiers, this character just does not fucking function. It's finally time to get onto this bash. Yep, I whiffed at that range. Yeah, I'm whiffing. This bash has no fucking range. Not only does it have no range, but the reward is pants. 12 damage, and I'm minus. There's no DLCs, there's no nothing. I can't chain, I can't do shit. This is 12 fucking damage on a man. It's pants. Not only is it terrible, but it's also 600 MS. it's the slowest neutral bash in the game, to my knowledge. Oh, actually, no, Lawbringers, but that has dodge frames and isn't punishable at all. So this bash is truly fucking awful. There is a little bit of a trick to getting some more damage, and this again plays into the whole tricky moveset thing. This is unparryable. It's an unparryable setup. You can obviously block this, but it's not parryable. And this move, when it's blocked, deals 4 damage chip. So, stuff like that, right? I can't make the opponent block this, but essentially, you can delay the light, you can do a light from another side, you can throw this extra light, and if the light connects, then you're minus on hit, but you do 16 damage, which is the same as Orochi's bash, which you can DRC after, or enforce an unblockable mix if you fancy. Yeah, this character's not very good if you didn't realize. So. Yeah, no. There is also a very awkward thing that you can do. This costs a lot of stamina, isn't really a true mix, but it can confuse the opponent, especially if they're a turtle. You can do things like that. You can go into his kick mix instead, 12 damage, but you've gone into this, and you can go into the. You can reset the situation again. So there are options, but a lot of them are very fake, very gimmicky, don't quite work very well, cost a lot of stamina. Low reward, even still. You know, when you have a full bar of stamina, you can maybe get a quarter of the opponent's HP if they're not ready, and the opponent in one stamina bar can blow you up. Low reward, high risk. It's just terrible. And that's his neutral bash. His kick is okay, but like on whiff, this isn't GB punishable. But on whiff it is dodge attack punishable, so say you Peacekeeper or something, you can dodge attack it, kill it. But the thing is, this is soft fateable dodge, which is quite nice. You can do things like this. You can do things like this. So you can bait punish attempts and go into that. Or you can bait punish attempts and go into his undodgeable light. Again, this is a crushing counter, so if you read the side that they're going to as well. Yeah, so you can be fancy with it, but you can't keep yourself safe if you commit to the kick. If you go, I'm going to hit the bash option, and they dodge it, nothing you can do to keep yourself safe. The opponent will punish you. Not with a GB. A lot of, this matchup is quite rare, so some people will try and dodge it in GB, but that's not the punish. Just go for a dodge attack. Unless, of course, you're playing Yorm. How dare you play Yorm? There is also this issue of a contextual 50-50. You know what I said about, oh, it has good reward at the wall. Yeah, what if you aren't at the wall? Pirate gets a big unblockable with some bonus damage. Tiandi gets that. That wasn't guaranteed. That's blockable. No matter what, that's blockable. If the opponent hits the wall at the very end, or if they slide off of a wall or something, then that's guaranteed. That's 22 damage, so that's even less. So, like, say they're in this situation here. Right? This is guaranteed. I fucked it up. The timing is also quite tight. That was guaranteed. And then there is also, like, an even safer one. If you're not confident in doing that, and you don't feel like you'll get the timing, say the opponent is also quite far away, you can also just delay dodge forward light. Some characters actually get hit by that, some characters don't, and again, it's very contextual. It's weird to try and tell if something was guaranteed or not, if it's difficult to gauge quite what you're allowed to get away with. It's just inconsistent and weird for the sake of being inconsistent and weird. If the opponent all splat constantly, it would be so much easier, but no. I think that's cool, personally, but it doesn't play to the character's credit. It just makes him more difficult than anything, for the sake of being wibbly and difficult, I guess. So, as you can probably tell, this character has almost no tools whatsoever, so it really does rely on the opponent not knowing the matchup. Similar to Nusha, Peacekeeper, those sort of characters that sort of lack actual fundamentals in any way, shape or form. They rely on the opponent basically just not knowing what to do, and to be fair, that is going to be a lot of people into Tiandi, but they'll know enough about the character that they'll know how to shut him down. There's no unblockable. Dodge the bash, just do a dodge attack, just spam your dodge attacks. He only has this 12 damage undodgeable to threaten with, so there's nothing really to worry about. Obviously, he has the universal option of GB, but you don't want your only option being that. Of all things, you want some good undodgeable to keep the opponent in check. There's nothing here. So, yeah, no, this character really doesn't rely on the opponent not knowing the matchup. Stuff like, I love this bit, by the way, if you couldn't tell. It also relies on the opponent not having very strong reaction speed. If the opponent can react to these, this mix doesn't become a 50-50 anymore. This is no longer a 50-50, this is literally just a move that you can do. And if the opponent can block them, it's no longer a mix. Simply if the opponent can block, which is an issue. Like, that's super minus. It also hits walls, which is great. Super minus on block. These aren't enhanced. So, yeah, that's great. You have to do things like that instead, which is super slow, interruptible, all of that. It is armored, but if you dodge this move, you are GB punishable. Yes. If the opponent dodges this move, Tiandi is GB punishable. Obviously, there are things like feint to GB, but again, what if the opponent just dodge attacks? Anything to shut that down? Feint and parry, that's it. And what if the opponent just dodges? You have to just start relying on this. And most characters are just completely fucking immune to GBs about half a femtosecond into the dodge attack animation. And there's no proper setup to really get this. That is too slow. Dodge attacks are still GB invulnerable, stuff like that. You know, characters like Pirate, Kensei, they have these setups to force a read out the opponent. And if they dodge or dodge attack, it doesn't matter, they get GB'd. Not this man. For the most part, there are some technical things that you can do, like off of his top heavy stuff. There are things that he can do to shut down dodge attacks, but he has to again sacrifice damage. He has to sacrifice mix options after. He has to sacrifice offense, frame advantage, anything. He has to sacrifice something. Nothing is for fucking free. Like, you know, you can't just get a bash and do half the opponent's health. You get a bash, you get 12 damage and frame disadvantage. That's literally it. And you have no range, and it's not DRCable, and it's 600 MS, and it comes off of some moves. And at other times you get a different bash that's arguably worse in a lot of situations. There's just no moves. It's frustrating, to say the least. This is why I say that this character is difficult, at least at a high enough level. So, yeah, as I said before with Kyoshin, this character cannot fight top tiers whatsoever. The current state of the game, a lot of characters are very, very, very strong. It used to be the case that basically every character felt underpowered, like everyone was in D tier. And then the CCU came out and moves became less reactable, so you couldn't just sit there and block everything, essentially. And then now, recently, they've come out with reworks that are off-the-wall stupid, basically, just to try and shut people up about characters being weak and stuff like that. So, Tiandi has been left in the dust a little bit, like a lot of characters, don't get me wrong. You know, again, Yorm has been waiting for his rework for a very long time. I feel like even a few of the reworked characters, like Centurion, is not keeping up too well. He's a charge bash character, so he gets way more than Tiandi, but yeah, he struggles the most out of all the charge bash characters. He definitely doesn't have very many tools. Lack of a dodge attack is a big one. So yeah, Tiandi doesn't really keep up with top tiers. Orochi is a bad matchup because this dodge heavy gets shut down by his massive undodgeable move list. Kyoshin, no unblockable. Pants, useless shit bash that does almost nothing. So Tiandi basically has no consistent answer to Kaze stance. He has no proper way to shut that down at all. It's basically an overpowered move to Tiandi. There's no option. He even lacks on hyper armor. This is his only hyper armor move, and it has no hyper armor on whiff or feigning. So it's only got a short amount of hyper armor, and you've got to time it and stuff like that. So you're basically just making a read anyway. And this isn't unblockable or anything, there's no threatening potential, there's no nothing. Pirate has her dodge forward heavy, literally armor earlier on, unblockable, leads to a full mix on hit or whiff, it's DRCable, it's super safe, all of that. This character gets this. So yeah, Kyoshin, awful matchup, and undodgeables, like a fair amount of them, and good tracking, so this move gets shut down. Heavy dodge attack, so this cost 1,000,000 stamina. Just in general, just a very, very, very hard matchup to win. There is also like this obviously has a lack of range, right? As you can see, this move has shocking range to say the least. This also comes from walking back, which is an issue. This brain not played into the strength of this move whatsoever. But there are some other issues, namely, that's an undodgeable. Remember what I said about this move being one of the best moves in his entire kit, and this move has no range whatsoever. This is notoriously difficult to hit versus some characters, and if the opponent is back walking, just good luck. There's no way that this move works. It whiffs a lot. And unless you want to be doing it from the top every single time, you have to throw this out to the side sometimes. Which means that if the opponent back dodges, they cover basically every option. Block top and back dodge. And you basically can't get hit. It's frustrating. There is also the issue that this can basically be option selected by a lot of characters by just dodging and blocking top, because Tiandis will want to go for this top one all the time. One, it does 2 more damage than the side ones, and it doesn't have shit tracking. So, you know, Tiandi will want to go for this top option. If you block top and dodge, you cover 2 of the, like, 4 options, pretty much all of which are reactable anyway. So, there's no mix here, essentially. Again, if you just stay calm, and you understand the matchup, there's almost nothing that Tiandi can do. Again, he has to get super creative, he has to start doing shit like this, and he gets no damage from this. But it's confusing, that's all that matters. He has to try and confuse you because his kit doesn't function. He's essentially Yoshimitsu in that sense. Maybe that's why I like him so much. This dodge heavy is notoriously inconsistent. Some moves just hit him out of it. It's extremely weird. Things like there's some characters specifically. Peacekeeper can't hit him out of this ever. Like, he can just do this forever, all day, every day, and Peacekeeper has no option. But JJ can just light any time during this animation. It's like it's undodgeable. It's really strange, but like some characters with good lateral tracking on any of their moves, yeah, no, this he just hits you out of this move and it just doesn't function anymore. Extremely weird. It's a super inconsistent dodge attack. And versus some characters that have charge bashes and undodgeables, yeah, no, this is not a good move, like, anymore. Warmonger, she has an undodgeable dodge forward heavy, so, you know, fainting stuff into that is a good option. The other thing that's a challenge is that superior dodge. He can miss that superior dodge quite often because this is one of the most it's one of the most awkward superior dodges in the game. So remember what I said about you have to delay this to get iframes, right? It's like Nabushi's dodge lights or dodge heavies. You can't just bring down and just get like dodge frames, right? You can't just do that. You have to delay it. You have to do it with purpose and understanding. Okay, maybe it's not that bad, but still. So if there's 10 damage, no tracking, I genuinely thought that would hit. You have to delay it, which, by the way, in turn makes this a more reactable move. Because you can't delay this forever, as you can see. So you have to delay it a little bit, otherwise it's not going to come out. And this makes it more reactable. You know the exact side it's going to come out of. And, you know, if you feint something, then he's probably going to go for a delayed dodge light. So just look at the direction he's dodging and then just parry it. And this is a light parry. So, yeah. This is the best move in his kit, by the way. And if he wants to deflect something, you know how many accidental deflects you get dodging lights? Yeah. Well, this character has to delay the dodge attack, right? So, yeah, this character doesn't have a deflect, he has a superior dodge. If you want to superior dodge something, you have to do this with no delay. Meaning you have to lose all of your iframes in order to pull this off, so you have to deflect with purpose as well. So you have to, I'm making a hard read, I'm going to deflect this top light. I'm making a hard read, I'm going to dodge this top light. I don't have quite as hard of a read. It's two different options for two different situations. And if you misuse them, you take light parries, or you just get hit by the move anyway, or you get GB punished, or any number of things could happen. Depends on the opponent. Again, this is the best move in his kit, and this move has no tracking and does 10 damage. That's your reward, 10 damage and a bash. That is all. Or 10 damage and a finisher light, and that's it. End offense. Bye-bye. So this is the final thing, I promise. And, you know, this is basically going out to every Lawbringer main out there, because they think that their character is completely useless despite them having an unpunishable bash, unblockables in their kit, and some of the highest parry punishment in the game, as well as some really high punishment when the opponent's out of stamina, stamina pause, good stuns, and a whole bunch of other shit, like extremely good punishment from dodge attacks as well. He's got dodge bash, he's got utility. So this goes out to every Lawbringer player out there who thinks that their character is completely useless because they have no opener. Tiandi has no opener. If you call this an opener, then I mean, sure, but it's no, it isn't. It's again no range. This is actually punishable. I know. Imagine actually being dodge punished for whiffing a move. Lawbringer players cannot relate to that. And not only does this have actual risk attached, but it does no damage, and it has no range. Lawbringers comes from a dodge, so you can extend the range by delaying it a little bit. With this move, there's nothing. You get this from a backwalk. Even if this move was to be changed in its input, it would be better, and given a little bit of delay. It'd be alright. Even if it was just forwards, like Centurion's kick, for example. It'd be so much better. But no, not allowed. Again, it's character, nothing for free. And by the way, before anyone says, having no opener doesn't matter because of Raider, I know. But Raider has a kit. This character doesn't. Lawbringer doesn't have much of a kit, but he has a kit. This character doesn't. This character doesn't even have a single 50-50 in his kit, technically. If the opponent can just react to everything. So he doesn't really have a mix at all. He has no unblockable, so he has nothing to really challenge with. So this character's useless. No, he's not useless. You have to get creative with him. You have to play him differently. You have to play him in a slightly obtuse way. You know, you have to confuse the opponent. You have to show that you know things. He has this good tool. It's not the best tool in the game, but you have to work with what you're given. You have to work with the fact that you have no unblockable. You have to make the opponent terrified of doing things. You know, things like that. That costs your entire stamina bar for 12 damage. That's 16 damage if they block the zone. I do believe. I can't remember the chip damage of this. I'm sorry, I'm not a true Tiandi. There's 3 damage, no man, it's 15 damage. You get 15 damage for your entire stamina bar on 2 mixes to land a light. You know that whole meme of, you know, Tiandi feints their entire moveset to land a single light? Yeah, it's because they have no kit. They can't mix you up otherwise. So, yeah, no, this was Tiandi. I do not feel like this is the worst character in the game, but I do feel like he's exceptionally weak, and I want him to stay this way, because I think it's super fun playing a low tier, personally, and I like being challenged with a kit that doesn't have every move in it, doesn't have every tool, you know? He's a character that doesn't possess key actual moves that you can apply and get shit done. There's no there's nothing for free, as I said before. He has to actually work to get damage and stuff like that. I will very quickly mention, though, that at lower levels of play, this character is extraordinarily frustrating because of this. Mid-chain undodgeable lights, obviously the opponent is just going to block everything against an AI, but these are very fast lights. And I understand, do not get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and go, this character's so difficult, I've worked so hard with this character, and then, like, low-level players like, I'm so good, and then just do this, like, the entire time. Yes, he is extraordinarily frustrating, and beginning to intermediate levels of play, if you can't react to lights, especially... I can't react to lights, by the way, I'm on 30 FPS, I understand, I've fought this Tiandi before, it's very frustrating, I know, it is super annoying, but at the level of play that I tend to play at, which is low diamond, ignore the bronze 4 up there, but I play it at like a high-ish level. I don't, you know, I'm not competitive. I'm not seen as like the world's best Tiandi player or anything. But I understand a thing or two about the game. At that level, fuck me, he has to work hard. Fucking hell, he has to work hard. But obviously, down low, there's no effort required. Absolutely. You know, there's plenty of characters like that. But I'm not going to distract from the fact that this character and Lawbringer side by side at bottom level play, yeah, no, absolutely, Lawbringer takes more effort, but anything past that, and unfortunately Tiandi has less kit. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you disagree with Tiandi being difficult, don't worry, I understand. It makes perfect sense. This isn't, you know, going to be like, I have to work so hard, look at me being morally better than you because I main someone who's difficult. No, like, you know, play who you want. I'm not saying everyone should balance like Tiandi, far fucking from, it'd make the game very boring. I'm not saying everyone should play Tiandi, I'm not saying that everyone should worship Tiandi mains, I'm just saying this character does struggle, and the people who do play him, choose to play him of their own volition, also struggle quite a bit, because he's not very good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's, I'm going to try and make one on Pirate being the strongest character in the game, and then I'll make one on probably Valkyrie or Yhorm being the worst characters in the game, the absolute bottom tiers, and I'm going to be comparing top and bottom tiers to see if this game is truly as balanced as some people say. So yeah, again, for the millionth time it feels, I hope you enjoyed, and ta-ra.